Yo, what's good? Welcome back to Trash Man MMA. And today we're going over the fight night that's happening tomorrow. And actually, not even, well, yeah, tomorrow, but it's happening in like 8 hours actually. Um, but I decided to, get my picks out. Better late than never, I guess. Even though video's coming out a little too late, man. But it's a pretty good card, honestly. It's not have bad, good name value throughout the entire card. I mean, like, we have a fucking ranked fighter, the second fight on the prelims. I mean, it's a pretty good card. I mean, it is Tagir William Bekov, so I'm not gonna get too hyped. That's like the one ranked fighter that you can have fighting on the early prelims. But whatever. I mean, let's get into it, man. Yeah, let's get straight into it. First fight of the night: Hamdi Abdel Wahab versus Muhammad Usman. Now, I know Muhammad Usman is a pretty decent underdog, but I mean, if you've actually followed Hamdi's career, dude, he's 0-2 in the UFC, and I know Muhammad Usman ain't nothing to harp about himself, but I mean, he's honestly not bad. Like, physicality wise, he's good, but it's just technique. He don't got it. And maybe that is where Hamdi will shine, but I mean, dude, Hamdi lost to Jamal Pogues, and I'm sorry, but anybody who's losing to somebody with this fucking hair, I can't even pull up Jamal Pogues' haircut, but y'all know what I'm talking about, bro. Oh yeah. Anybody who's losing to a dude with this haircut, nah, you're a goof. You're a certified goof. Uh, Hamdi clearly lost. I forgot what rounds he lost. Could have been 30-27 perhaps, but I also heard that this Mays fight was a robbery as well. Um, Look, bro, that was 3 fucking years ago in July 30th, bro. I'm not gonna spend my time on July 30th, 23 fucking years ago, watching Mays versus Hamdi Wahab making his fucking debut, going to a split decision. I don't give a fuck, dude. Uh, but he's 0-2 in the UFC as far as I'm concerned. It's insanely inactive, not that good. I think Muhammad Usman is good enough to beat the Hamdi Abdel Wahhabs of the fucking unranked heavyweight division. So I'm going Muhammad Usman 30-27 or 29-28 split decision. But either way, I mean, it'll go split decision, and if I get it wrong, it doesn't really fucking matter. On to the next fight. Tagir Ulianbekov versus Azat Maxim lost to Charles Johnson. I believe he took this fight on relatively short notice, or maybe he didn't. But Tagir Ulianbekov, he's honestly not Tagir Ulianbekov's pretty good. He's just insanely inactive. It's hard for him to make the weight. Which actually, did he make the weight? I don't know, because they already weighed in, and surely he made the weight. Surely he made the weight. No, we're on Tapology now. Surely, yeah. He weighed in. He weighed in. Okay. That's been his only struggle so far, or as of recently. He had a few canceled fights, and they've all just been kind of, you know, like he was supposed to fight Kyogi Horiguchi, he pulled out. Supposed to fight Joshua Van, he missed weight. Alex Perez, whatever. So I think we'll see a good Tagir Ulianbekov. I think he'll decisively get it done against Azat. On to the next. Irene. Wait, who was I going for on this fight? Irene Alexieva versus Claudia Segula. Wait, who the fuck was I going for in this fight? I forgot. I just did my research. Uh, not too long ago. Oh yeah. Irene, that she just looks insanely different. So I kind of forgot. Like, doesn't she like what the fuck? That's not the same fighter. But I'm going Irina Alexieva. She calls herself the Russian Ronda Rousey. She has armbar victories in her past, I'm assuming, and one of Claudia Silva's losses is coming to from an armbar. So I'm going. She has one armbar. Wow, whatever. I'm going Irene Alexieva. Um, yeah, I'm going Irene Alexieva. I'm not gonna harp on that for too fucking long, dude. Uh, Daria Zaliknikova versus Melissa Mullins. Bro, all three daughters of Melissa Mullins, by the way. It's kind of crazy. I'm going Melissa Mullins. I mean, they fought each other not even like 2-3 years ago. Melissa Mullins stopped her in the first round. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't think you've progressed that much into your career after 2 years where you're not going to get stopped by Melissa Mullins again. So I'm going Melissa Mullins, first or second round KO. Uh, on to the next fight. Ishmael Nurdiev versus Jung Young Park. Um, I'm going Jung Young Park. Ishmael Nurdiev did have kind of like, I don't even know if it was a masterclass, but he just had a good fight over, uh, that one guy, Bruno Silva. Jung Young Park, I think he put hands. No, didn't he put hands on what's that one guy's name? Guy that's been around for fucking years. Brad Tavares. He put hands on Brad Tavares, who I believe Brad Tavares got stopped by fucking. Oh, he went to a split decision with Brad Tavares. I feel like that wasn't split decision worthy though. But Brad Tavares actually lost to Bruno Silva while Bruno Silva was on his insane loss streak, and he got fucking knocked out by him in the first round. Like, come on, dude. Um, I'm going. I'm going. Fuck, dude. Nah, I'm keeping my pick. I'm keeping Jung Young Park, the Iron Turtle. I believe in his last fight. Hold on, I'm gonna go back. Sorry if my laptop is insanely laggy too. It has that tendency. Um, yeah, he lost to Muniz, controversial. Durian, he beat. These aren't good names though, but I'll I'll keep it as it is. I'm going the Iron Turtle. He's good enough to beat the Ishmael Nurdiev's inactive fighter. So I'm going Jung Young Park on this one, 30, 29-28. On to the next fight, the headliner of the prelims. Sekyo Yong Ko versus Oban Elliott. I am going Oban Elliott. He is a huge favorite for good reason. Let's look at Seiko Kan KO or Ko record. 11-2. Let's look at this, dude. 9-0, 7-7, 28-7, 5-4, 11-4, 6-1, 3-3, 3-2, 0-0, 0-0, 3-2, 0-1, 9-9. Absolutely padded record. I don't care if he's good. I believe Oban Elliott is better, facing better levels of competition. I know the fucking his last win wasn't that impressive, right? What's that guy's name who Oban Elliott just stopped in the like first or second round? Basil Hafez. Basil Hafez, it's not that good. Val Woodburn, Preston Parsons, okay, that's a good one, but it's not terrible, but it's not the best. But I do think he is leagues above a Sung Young Ko, whose entire career is stat padded with fraudulent fights. So I'm going Oban Elliott. Uh, I don't know how, but Oban Elliott's gonna get it done. I can see a submission, low key. That's just coming out of my ass though. And same thing over here. Bogdan Grad's level of opposition just isn't that good. Like if you go through his tapology, just look at the records of his opponents, nothing really shines through. And Mohamed Naimov, I mean, he lost to Felipe Lima coming up on short notice, up a weight class. But, I mean, that was Felipe Lima, smaller man skill. You know what I'm saying? He's just kind of got caught in, like, the third round with the rear naked choke. I believe he was winning the fight up until then. Maybe he wasn't. But there's really no shame in getting submitted by a smaller, quicker, faster guy. So I think Bogdan Grad, with this lack of high level competition and just kind of like a marauder maxer, I think I could see Muhammad Naimov just kind of, sticking it to him, doing what's necessary, staying out the way, not ego fighting, and just kind of not stalemating, but how do you say, just killing Bogdan Grad's momentum. So I'm going Muhammad Naimov by decision. And Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Mota. I'm going Nazim Sadikov. I just think Nicholas Mota has already, in his young career, he's not even that young, he's like 33. He's taken way too much damage. And it's not like way too much damage, but if you're getting KO'd by Jim Miller, dude, it's time to wrap up, bro. And he's been on the end of some brutal knockouts. He got fucking face planted by an elbow. He's been stopped on the regional scene twice. Like, I believe 4 out of his 5 losses come by knockout. And Nazim Sadikov does have power in his hands. I believe 7 of his wins come by knockout. 2 come by submission, and 1 comes by decision. This guy's he could punch. He's got a slightly shorter reach, but nothing too much to scoff at. Who's his last loss? Something on the regional scene. Assuming. Wait, wrong one. That's Muhammad Naimov. Nazim Sadikov. He's a heavy favorite as well. Oh yeah, he just stopped Ismail Bonfim too. Terrence McKinney, Vyacheslav Borishev to a draw. It was his first loss in his career. It was his first fight in his career that he lost. So he's on like a fucking 10-fight win streak. I don't think Nicholas Mota, of all people, is going to be the one to put an end to his hype. So I'm going Nazim Sadikov by first or second round KO. On to the next. Miktik Orabai versus Tafik Mustafayev. I watched like a slight piece of Tafik Mustafayev's interview. The dude looks like he's kind of just showing up for a paycheck. He doesn't look serious whatsoever. I can't take him serious. He was only signed because he's from Azerbaijan. They needed somebody for Miktik Orabai. And this was just a guy who so happened to be an MMA fighter, so happened to be from Azerbaijan. Hey, man, he probably had a fight coming up. They're like, hey, man, we need you on this card. You'll be in the UFC. What do you say? And he was like, yeah. I believe he was also like 33, so he's not insanely old. He's pretty young still. In his prime. He's probably on roids, so if he does come in and he looks amazing, it's probably because he's on roids. That's just typically how he does it. And if he gets caught, he's probably gonna say it was a fucking prescription from his doctor that he forgot to, check in with the UFC. Hold on, I'm gonna take a little drink real quick. But I'm going Miktik Orabai. No, I'm not gonna watch Tafik Mustafayev's 22 wins on the regional scene. I'm not gonna watch him beat up Cans and Eagle FC and fucking PFL and Bellator, dude. I'm not watching that shit. Fuck no. And I heard somebody that he got like body kick KO too is like getting their ass whooped in the UFC. So whatever. Going Miktik. I believe I heard that from bedtime. So I'm going Miktik Orabai, man. He's just kind of a goat. Coming off of a war with Rebecki. Absolute war. So I'm going Miktik Orabai. I don't think Mustafayev's got that dog in him. He just looks like somebody who doesn't. On to the next fight. Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev. Again, somebody who just is coming from Eagle FC, man. Beating up absolute Cans. Popping for every PED known to man. For the fucking Captain America serum. The fucking Ninja Turtle ooze. Like, this guy's been through it all. He knows every single fucking PED cheat in the world. But this fight has been rebooked and canceled, I think 3 times. I think there's a 3rd time that they're making this fight. Just a way to get a guy who has a win over Francis Ngannou's win. Fucking Brendan something Fajeda. Rizvan Kuniev. If the guy who has a win over this, or the same Fajeda, if he beats Curtis Blaydes, it'll fucking diminish Francis Ngannou's record. Whatever. So Curtis Blaydes, though, he's good. He's only losing to the best of the best in the division. Like, who's he losing to? He's losing to Sergey Pavlovich. He's losing to Tom Aspinall, the champ, and other than that, he was on a decent win streak, I believe. Uh, he lost to Derek Lewis back in the day, but Rizvan Kunyev is a fat, plotty. He's a fucking turkey, bro. He's a fucking turkey. Curtis Blades, he's light on his feet. He's surprisingly fast. He has very good wrestling. He has very good takedown defense. Even though he was kind of just pressed up against the fence against Jailton Almeida for around the better part of 2 rounds before getting a KO in this late second. He was kind of just getting smudged up against the fence. I don't think Rizvan Kunyev will do that. I think Curtis Blades will be able to shuck him off, put hands on him, perhaps KO him in the first round. Let's go first round KO by Curtis Blades. On to the next fight. Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Now, I can see this fight. I can't. This fight's really hard to pick because I could see this fight obviously going either way. It's a really 50-50 fight. I can see Ignacio Bahamondes playing on the outside, just kind of going, not tit for tat with Rafael Fiziev, but just peppering him up from the outside. And Rafael Fiziev winging overhands and shit that just ain't landing, getting out of the way of some cool head kicks. But, let's say Ignacio Bahamondes those are lightning quick 1-2. Rafael Fiziev gets out the way. I could see Ignacio just fucking lasering low kicks. I could see Ignacio being very active, and for a kind of Rafael Fiziev fights with a rhythm. He kind of fights with that I go, you go, I go, you go, I go. I can see Ignacio Bahamondes not following that pace. It's just like Rafael Fiziev goes, Bahamondes goes, and then Rafael Fiziev's like keeps getting lit up. He's like, what the fuck? It's my turn. But Bahamondes doesn't fight at that rhythm. I can see Bahamondes just kind of putting on the pressure on him. He has good wins, bro, over Emmanuel Torres and Jalen Turner. I know that Jalen Turner was on his way out, but still, who's Rafael Fiziev beating? Genuinely, who's he beating? RDR? Wow. Bobby Green? Wow. Like I know he took a huge layoff after like having his fucking knee smashed to fucking Mateus Gamrot, but he just it's tough. He's in really good shape, but it is do or die for him. So I can't see him being the most dangerous animal is an animal with nothing to lose. So I can see Rafael Fiziev kind of just putting it on him, not really caring for Ignacio. But Ignacio Bahamondes is just like I don't want to make that comparison, but he's very long. I don't think Rafael Fiziev has ever gone up against somebody as long, as rangy as Bahamondes. But obviously Bahamondes is extremely tall for this weight class. He's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. He's 7 inches taller. 7 inches taller? No shot. He's 7 inches taller. Holy fuck. And I could just see, what's Rafael Fiziev gonna do? Throw a head kick at this guy? Can he even reach his head? I just think Bahamondes is gonna do a real good job at sticking and moving, blasting low kicks from Rafael Fiziev. Is expecting it to be his turn, but it's just gonna be Ignacio going re-rolling, re-rolling. So I see Bahamondes getting this done, and in spectacular fashion. Don't know how, but spectacular fashion. I do see Bahamondes by finish. On to the next. Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. Give me a real quick second. Should have picked. Okay. Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. Now, this fight is also extremely close, but I'm going to just start off saying the strength of their opponents is night and day difference. Hill has went up against and beaten levels of competition 10 times better than any of Khalil Roundtree Jr. Khalil Roundtree Jr.'s best win is Anthony Smith on short notice, and he took him to the third round to finish him, where he was getting tagged up in the second round as well, dude. He was getting pieced up on the feet. Not pieced up, but Smith was landing quick right hands, quick jabs, and let's just go over everything I think Jamal Hill's good at and bad at, and then we'll go over everything Khalil Roundtree Jr. is good and bad at, and we'll go and make a decision from there. So Jamal Hill, Jamal Hill is a very wide stance fighter with a Juliana Pena type guard. If you look at his fight against, I believe it was, I think it appeared in the Prokashka fight too. He just has that elbow guard out, and his jab is just like, it's like you could see it coming from miles away, but very goofy jab, very goofy stance. He does still manage to have very good right hands and counter right hooks, which does have the tendency to get him caught though. If Khalil Roundtree Jr. can throw just a straight left down the pipe, it will connect on Jamal Hill's chin. That opening has been there in so many of his fights. Yuri was just one of the only one to capitalize on that just left straight. Capitalized on it twice in the first and third. So if Khalil Roundtree Jr. can be as quick, I don't think he will be able to though with that left hand. Khalil Roundtree is more just a right, a piston right kind of guy with some hooks. I don't think he'll be able to really incorporate that piston like left jab or straight. But Hill, decent jabs. He is able to pepper up from a distance. Like he can have you up against the fence and just like lay it on you just a little bit, kind of like a Max Holloway-esque. Not putting too much on the shots, but just enough to get you out of there without fighting back. And Khalil Roundtree Jr. is extremely stale and not hesitant, but he just doesn't throw on the back foot. If you have him up against the fence, showing in the Anthony Smith fight, I get it, he was looking for counters, but he's just extremely stale and tight when he's on the back foot. But back to Jamal. He has really good power. He stuns all of his opponents frequently. He stuns every single one of them. He stunned Glover multiple occasions. He almost finished Glover like 3-4 times. He was hurting Santos. He was hurting. He fucking put Jimmy Crute out. He fucking Johnny Walker out. And he was really hurting Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka doesn't typically react to strikes like that. Like, you could see Yuri Prochazka is like fucking, he'd get hit. Obviously, Yuri Prochazka is one of to embrace the shots. And definitely, don't get me wrong, he definitely was still in their fight. But there was a different sense of look on Yuri's face where it's just like, oh, that punch looked like it had a real big impact. What else? He has his head kicks are really good, His head kicks are really good. It's like they look slow, they look sloppy, unset up, but they land. They land often. He's never not. There's not a round where Jamal Hill won't throw a head kick. And for somebody who he's 3 inches taller than, something that he's typically not used to, all of his opponents are usually around the same height as him. And Khalil Roundtree Jr., I don't believe he's 6'1". He's very short for the division. I think Jamal Hill will be able to unload high kicks on him. He mixes it up so well. He's able to throw knees in the clinch so often. As soon as you crash into Jamal Hill, he's throwing a knee. And I know Khalil Roundtree Jr. is going to be trying getting some Muay Thai sweeps on him. And don't get me wrong, he might get 1 or 2, but he's just going to let him back up. Khalil Roundtree Jr. is not going to engage in the ground game. He's just going to let him back up. And if he does engage in the grappling, Jamal Hill is just going to get back to his feet. He has an amazing, he has amazing scrambles. People don't give him enough credit for that. He can get back to his feet almost in no time. You take him down, maybe you'll get 1 or 2 mat returns, but he'll pop right back up. People can't control Jamal Hill. It's been it's been proven. The only person who could really control him was Thiago Santos, but that was like Thiago Santos completely gave it his all and completely gassed out. And for somebody who like Khalil Rountree, who already has a terrible gas tank, he's not gonna want to give it at all. He's not gonna go 100% pedal to the metal. I'm keeping this guy down. He's not that kind of fighter. So even if he goes for a Muay Thai sweep, Jamal Hill is just gonna get back up. If Khalil Rountree engages in the clinch, Jamal Hill is gonna be able to put all his weight on that neck of Khalil Rountree and just light up knees to the body, knees up top, knees to the nose. Um, they could break off, and Jamal Hill right hand, knee, body kick, teep, head kick, low kick. Jamal Hill's mix-ups are so amazing. He can. That was actually a combo that he threw against Glover Teixeira. There was a right hand, knee to the body kick, and it was a teep, and then I think it was a low kick. Dude mixes it up so well. It's not extraordinary strikes. It's not like the deepest tool bag, but it's he's kind of like the jack of all trades. Nothing in there is amazing, but it's all good enough to where it's all just as effective. And Khalil Rountree Jr., who's his body kicks are alright, his low kicks are alright. Doesn't really throw head kicks. I mean, he does throw them every now and then, but not like Jamal. Khalil doesn't really have knees. He has good elbows sometimes, but I don't think he'll be able to land elbows on Jamal Hill. Just personal opinion. But back to Jamal. He has good takedown defense. He does have fucking terrible head movement, though. He absolutely has no head movement whatsoever. He just does like that Volkanovski style lean back where he just kind of leans back out the way and just hopes they stop throwing and hope they don't chase him down, which I don't think will be too much of a problem since Khalil Rountree is a lot shorter. His reach isn't as long as a taller guy, so I think Jamal Hill will be able to get away with that, but it is scary in a way. Um, just not something you want to see. But yeah, great knees in the clinch. He's not gonna lie though. He has got to be one of the most reckless pocket boxers of all time. He's constantly getting clipped on the fucking head by every single one of his opponents. I forgot exactly who it was, but in one of his fights, they were just landing on Jamal Hill right before. It might have been Thiago Santos. Just landing right on his dome. And Jamal Hill always gets the better of it, but it's just so worrisome. Khalil Rountree does have decent power, but I don't think they're going to get in a wild brawl exchange like that in the later rounds. I think Jamal Hill will be able to weather storm in the first few rounds and not let that happen. And once it happens in the third, fourth, and fifth, I think Khalil Rountree will be too tired to really capitalize. Where Jamal Hill has a pretty damn good gas tank. Even though it might not look like it, looking at his belly and his fucking beer belly gut. He kind of is a hook merchant, not gonna lie, a little bit. He has great follow-up shots, so if he drops Khalil Rountree at any point in time, he will land a picture-perfect shot. And I'm not just basing that off of I am just basing that off of the Crute and Walker fight, but they're great shots. Like, name me somebody else who lands a picture-perfect, textbook follow-up shot on somebody that lands flush on the chin. Nobody else. They're all missing. They're all hitting the canvas. They're all hitting the chest, the shoulder of their opponents after dropping them. A still moving, non-moving target. Jamal Hill lands right on the chin again. So if Khalil Rountree Jr. ever goes down, I think Jamal Hill will be able to find a perfect follow-up shot to really put him away. He will get pressured sometimes into giving up like a decent amount of octagon space. It's not it's not the best, but I don't see Khalil Rountree pressuring him too much. And if anything, I can see Jamal Hill being on the front foot more than Khalil Rountree Jr. But with that being said, also Jamal Hill has the worst striking defense out of any Khalil Rountree Jr. opponent. Somebody who he reminds me of is one of Khalil Rountree's opponents. I think his name was Robertson. I don't want to say they fight similar, but just things that they were doing, it looked like stuff that Jamal Hill would do. Robertson. And Robertson did get KO in the second, so if I see Jamal Hill losing, it is in the first, second, possibly the third, but I don't even think the third. I think Khalil Rountree Jr. stops and doesn't have that same oomph even in the third as he does in the first or second. I swear, the Khalil Rountree Jr. You watch him in the Anthony Smith fight in the first and second round, it's a night and day difference already. It's just like you could tell which is the first and which is the second round. It's just so easy off of how slow Khalil Rountree Jr. starts to move. It's not even like he's like lethargic or anything, but it's just there's a noticeable difference in the way Khalil Rountree Jr. moves. He's extremely fast, but he slows down just as fast. Extremely heavy on the front foot. Typical Muay Thai high guard. He backs up so easily. Anthony Smith had him on the back foot from the very beginning. And again, I know he was looking for the counter shot, but just not something that you kind of want to be doing against Jamal Hill, who is a heavy, not tit for tat, but a heavy volume type of guy. Or maybe it is because Jamal Hill has god awful defense and he leaves himself open so much that maybe a counter shot is the best thing you want to look for against Jamal Hill, who constantly leaves his hands down, constantly leaves his chin exposed. But with that longer reach, with that longer frame, I think it'll be okay enough to avoid anything dangerous. He gets pretty stale when he's pressured. When he is pressured, he doesn't really throw anything as much with as much conviction. So yeah, he's very stationary in the clinch. I believe it was, I forgot who it was. It was probably Anthony Smith, but extremely stationary. Yeah, it was in the first round after like I guess a clash of heads. Khalil Rountree just doesn't. He gets in the clinch just to kind of stalemate, just to kind of like be in the clinch, not to actually work in it though. Where Jamal Hill, if you're in the clinch with Jamal Hill, the first thing he's doing is throwing that knee up the middle. That's the first thing he's doing, or throwing that knee to the body. He's working consistently. Where Khalil Rountree Jr., I see he takes breaths a lot. He takes a lot of breaks in the fight. Not something you want to do against Jamal Hill. So yeah, he's definitely gonna get outworked in the clinch. Can get tagged by a lot of straight rights and a lot of jabs, as shown in the Smith fight. Just Smith on short notice, tagging him up with right hands, jabs, and just straight down the pipe stuff. But he does have a decent guard. He does tend to keep his hands up, but Jamal Hill also does work the body. He has good teeps. He has good body kicks. So if Khalil Rountree Jr. does have that high guard, I can see Jamal Hill just teep up the middle, make a move. All right, he gets ready to throw. Backs away, low kick, high kick. You know what I'm saying? Easy stuff. Mix it up well. Khalil also does have a tendency to lean out the way, but it's not too bad. It's not as bad as Jamal Hill. He also does have good high kick defense. Anybody who's throwing high kicks on Khalil Rountree Jr. just never land. He's always able to get out the way. And he just doesn't mix it up as well as Jamal Hill. He has decent low kicks and decent body kicks and okay high kicks, but overall, Jamal Hill is just a much better jack of all trades than Khalil Rountree Jr. is. So with all that being said, I'm going Jamal Hill fourth or third round. If I'm going fourth round KO. I can see this being very similar to the Thiago Santos fight, minus the takedowns and grappling exchanges. I could see Jamal Hill, maybe getting hurt in the second. Maybe there's a scare, but rallying back. He has a decent chin, To take some shots off Rakashka like that and seemingly be unfazed at times. I do think that stoppage was not early, but he was still in there. But I don't think Khalil Rountree Jr. is ever going to have in a position like that Jamal Hill has a decent chin. He's not going to get one shot slept, which is Khalil Rountree's best chance. If it comes to all right, who's going to smother the other, I think Jamal Hill's 10 times more smothering than a Khalil Rountree. So I'm going Jamal Hill by third or fourth round TKO finish. With all that being said, that should be the end of the video. I do have to get ready for work in the morning. To be up in 6 hours, and I am going to be listening to the fights at work because they start at 9 a.m. and I go to work at 6 a.m. So thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you tune back in to my either. I'll make a card recap tomorrow because I'll have a whole bunch of time in the afternoon to make one. So I'm definitely gonna make one tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for being patient with my upload schedule. Very much appreciated. Thank you all. Have a good night and enjoy the fights tomorrow. I know I will enjoy the main card. We'll try at least because I'm gonna miss a whole bunch of them, dude. I think I'm only probably gonna be able to watch. I think I'm probably only gonna be able to watch Bahamondes and Fiziev and Hill versus Roundtree. But you know, those are the only ones I really care about. I'm not gonna crash out versus missing Alhamdulillah Wahab versus Muhammad Usman, right? I mean, that is a good fight though, but you know, whatever. I'll probably rewatch them and then make my card recap. Anyways, have a good night. Can I stop this? All right, bye.